What is up, Comic Clan? Today we are taking a look at Blacksad Under the Skin, developed by Pendulo Studios and YS Interactive, published by Microids. I had the opportunity to check out the next-gen upgrade on Xbox Series X and S, but you can find the game on all platforms. This copy was kindly provided by the publisher when the next-gen version launched, but it took me a while to get this out because I wanted to finish the game before sharing my thoughts. And we featured the comic on Indie Comic Book Club, which you can find over on our comics channel. Blacksad Under the Skin is based on the comic of the same name that Dark Horse currently publishes. It is a narrative-driven adventure that plays much like a Telltale game, so if you're a fan of games like The Walking Dead and Wolf Among Us, you'll feel right at home. It has a traditional detective noir setting in New York during the 1940s, but with a twist. All the characters are anthropomorphic animals. It is rated M for mature, dealing with some heavy topics, and the title screen itself deserves a trigger warning for themes of suicide. I hadn't read the comic when I played the game, and I'm glad we eventually did as a team. The presentation deserves praise, as the character models and voice acting help immerse me in the story and the events that took place on screen. The devs didn't opt for a full cel-shaded art style, which could have emulated the comic, but I wish they did to make the game look a little more unique. It looks a little generic on the surface, but has much more personality once you start playing. You play the role of Blacksad, a detective with little to show for his work. Just as one case is closing, you take on another, in which the crime scene is located at a local boxing gym. It looks as if the owner has hung himself, but it isn't long before you realize that what happened there wasn't self-inflicted. Moving Blacksad around the world, yet again, takes notes from Telltale games. You'll be investigating clues and choosing dialogue options with the push of a face button. Moments of action are usual QuickTime event button prompts that many seasoned gamers know by now, though Blacksad does have a few other features that make it stand out a bit more. My favorite mechanic is putting together clues and discoveries that you made in Blacksad's mind. This mechanic heavily reminds me of the recent Sherlock Holmes series, in which you enter Sherlock's mind palace to form conclusions. It works pretty much the same way. You not only make those discoveries through the environment, but by analyzing certain people as well. You'll be using Blacksad's cat senses to observe certain people or bodies, whether that be through his sense of smell or keen eyesight. And finally, a particular menu I enjoyed looking at changes based on the choices you make. The Your Blacksad menu reflects your playstyle, showing whether you talk too much, how romantic you are, or if your case is profitable. All of these meters fluctuate throughout the story and as you play. After reading the comic, my one problem with giving the player agency over Blacksad is that it doesn't do justice to his character in the comic specifically. Blacksad isn't the pushover that the game makes him out to be, though again, I appreciate what the mechanic of Your Blacksad is trying to do. Blacksad's setbacks come from its fairly linear narrative. You still get alternate endings based on some choices, but it felt like many of my mishaps ended in a simple retry screen. This isn't necessarily the game's fault though, as I've gotten too comfortable with games like the Dark Pictures anthology, in which the consequences are usually very drastic. Though I did enjoy where Blacksad's story went, it felt a little too long and the gameplay started to feel a little monotonous, which is where I usually struggle with this genre the most. Blacksad isn't a must-play for everyone, but if you enjoy others of its kind, I highly recommend it alongside reading the comic. The story, the characters, and narrative all work together in creating an experience I will surely not forget. Upon finishing the game, and especially after I read the comic, I have to give Blacksad Under the Skin a 7.5 out of 10. And before I go, please check out our coverage of the Blacksad comic over on our comics YouTube channel. Thank you all for watching, and if you have not already, please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel for more comics and lacrosse gaming content.